Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I hope you are having a creative day. In this video, I will show you how to use the repeaters in proper way. And here's an example of a repeater I'm using to showcase the product categories in this website template. So I'm going to show you how to use the repeater and repeater items to create a responsive design, which you can repeat again and again. So first off, let's add the repeater. To do that, go to layout tools, and in the repeaters, you will find different options. You have cards, you have list, you have grid cells, and so on. For this one, I'm going to use the cards. All right, the next thing I'm going to do is stretch it like this. And after that, let's go ahead and select the section or the cell, whatever you are using, and then add a padding. The padding will make sure that this repeater always has a distance from the sides. Okay, so now we have a 5% distance from the edges. Let's do the same. For this one, I'm gonna add pixel. Okay, so there's a 40 pixel distance at top and bottom as well. Now let's talk about the resizing of the repeater. While you are in the stretch responsive behavior, you cannot change the height of the repeater because we are using the stretch mode. If you want to set the height, you can unstretch it and then use it manually like this. Okay, now you can change the height of the repeater. For now, let's go with the stretch. You can also decide the type of repeater you want to use. You can either use card, you can also use the list, you can use the slider. I'm not a fan of slider. I don't like the functionality. And finally, my personal favorite, the grid cell. Okay, the grid cell, the main difference between the grid cell and the cards here is that the grid cell automatically make themselves responsive. So if you go to the tablet view, for example, you can see that each row has two cards. And if you go to the mobile, each row has one card only. And if you go back to the desktop, you have three cards. But if you go to the cards right here, you can see that the desktop has three cards, the same for the tablet and the same for the mobile. So that's the main difference between the cards and the grid cell type. The grid cells are automatically responsive. And in the cards, you can decide how many items you want to show in each row. Talking about the number of items, you can set it right here. So you can show four items, for example. But you will see that we still have only three items. That's because you have to add them manually. So go here and add item. And now you have four items right here. And if you don't know till now, the repeaters basically what they do is they can repeat the design over and over again. So if you want to show same kind of layout over and over again, you can use the repeater. Now, how do we add the items in our repeater in such a way that it's always responsive? Let's talk about that. It's best if I show you with an example rather than just talk about it in theory. First off, I'm going to add an image. So let's go to quick add, or let's go to media and add an image. All right, so let's say this is our image. Let's crop it a bit. Okay, so once you attach your image to a repeater item, it will be added in all the repeaters. Okay, that's the use of the repeater. Now, for the images, what I recommend is that you go to its size function right here and select the advanced settings. And in the width, set it to 100%. The percent here is most important. This will make sure that your image always covers the entire width of the items. Then just align it like this in center and on the top. All right, so doesn't matter what is the width of your device, the image will always cover 100%. Now you can go ahead and change the images if you want. Now let's add some text as well. Now here's the most important thing. From here on, you can go to two different rows. You can either use the stack of the elements, or you can use the advanced CSS grids for the items. I personally use the advanced CSS grid for more complex design, but either one is cool. You can use any of these methods. So let me show you how to use the CSS grid in the repeater item first. If you look here, you will see the advanced CSS grid option. Click on it. Now you can add rows and columns in your repeater item. So let's say I want to add the image. I want to add the name of the category, the number of products in that category, and the link to that category. To do that, I will first off add, um, go to others, or you can select any of these elements. So let's add 1 by 3. And now you can see that we have 3 options right here. So first off, select this image, and right here you have the option to select the location of this image in this CSS grid. So I will select the first grid like this, and now this image is contained within the first grid cell only. In the second cell, I will add the name of the category. So go here and select the text, add it right here. Once again, it's a good idea to set the advanced sizing here and set it to 100% and absolute center. The reason why we are setting it to the center, I will tell you in a minute. For now, let's rename them. In the next section here, or let me also add the number of products right here in the bracket. So what I'm going to do first is add this in a container. So place the entire text here in a container like this. And now what we're going to do is we will convert this container in a CSS grid as well. So go to advanced CSS grid and make it 2 by 1. This text will be in the first cell like this. And in the second cell, we will add the number of products. Don't worry about the design here. We will fix that in a minute. Just select the cell like this. And in the responsive behavior, if the text is too small, just set it to hug. Let's set the number of products. And in the final cell here, we will add the link of the category. So let's say this text hold the link of the category page. Just add it like this. Once again, let's make it to the center. Now let's make this entire assembly responsive. The first thing I'm going to do is make this element responsive, the container. For this element, the first thing I'm going to do is set the width to 100%, or even better option, let me show you. Because this is a small text, I'm going to set it to hug and assign it like this. Select the container, go to the columns here, and in the scale option, select the minimum content. And now as you can see, the width of this cell is exactly the width of this text, right? So the number of products here appears right beside it. And we don't have to change the scale of this at all. I'm happy with this. But I will add some distance. So go to the margin here and add a 5 pixel distance like this. Okay. And finally, let's select the entire repeater item. Go to the rows. And right here, we have the minimum and maximum. So leave the image for the minimum maximum scale. And what it does is that it allows you to set the minimum and maximum height of your repeater cell. But for the text, I'm going to set the maximum content, and the same for maximum content right here. And now, as you can see, it is exactly the height of the text, the entire container. So this will make sure that your design is always responsive. Now, if you want, you can add some distance for these elements. So I'm going to add the 5 pixel like this and like this. Now let's make this responsive for tablet and mobile as well. All you have to do is go here and set the number of items from 3 to 2. For the mobile, we're going to set 1. Okay, so now you can see that we have a responsive design for all our repeater items. So this is one way. You can also use the stack. That's also another method. This is the method I especially use with the grids. Now, one more thing I can do here is select the item. And just like the section, we can add some padding to make sure there is some distance. So you can add a side padding, for example, 5 pixel from here and 5 pixel from here. The same for the top and bottom as well. Or let's add 10 pixel. Okay, so now we have a responsive design. All right, so this is how you can create a responsive repeater in Wix Studio. If you want, you can add more design elements like border, shadow, and so on. And if you are wondering how I created the effect on the home page, that's because of CSS. There is a very cool effect like this, kind of a flash. So I'm using CSS for that. But yeah, that's it for this video. I hope you learned something. Thanks for watching.